You're not freezing now.
which is a good thing. I don't know why I was doing that in the first
Oh,
place.
neither.
All right, welcome back to Shots from the Foul Line podcast. Vic and I are getting second jobs as IT people because with the amount of IT troubles that we have to troubleshoot every freaking recording is absurd. But hey, we got this. Awesome, welcome back. So we definitely have some sports topics to discuss. However, Vic was taking a look at our performance across all of our episodes, and he recognized the fact that our number one performing episode was, ironically, our first, but also the one where we talked about who the GOAT in basketball was. So we had a lot of views, definitely had a decent amount of comments as well. I think that's definitely one of those ones where you can stir some debate, which is awesome. So he wanted to do it again. So here we go. We're going to kick this off NFL style. We are going to try and keep it simple because obviously this is something that could probably be a pretty long conversation depending on how much we debate some of these things. But we're only going to go quarterback, wide receiver, and running back. So let's kick this off. We're going to start from the top. So we'll start at the quarterback because that'll probably be where the most debate or conversation comes from. I've got a list of quarterbacks that maybe if you're 60 or older, you might add a couple other guys into this list. But I think the majority, 99.9% of our listeners, this is it. This will be the whole list. I mean, I guess you might add Aaron Rodgers. I didn't want to add Aaron Rodgers, but that's a whole different reason. So don't worry about Aaron Rodgers. So we got Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, John Elway, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Johnny Unitas, Steve Young, and Terry Bradshaw. Now, the one common theme there, and that's kind of why I didn't want to include Rodgers just yet, all these guys are retired, so they're all done playing, right? I think it's not just impossible, but I think it's unfair and unrealistic and just unwarranted to talk about anybody being the best ever if they're still playing a sport. LeBron, sorry. So wait till they're done playing and then talk about their
Wow.
accolades.
You
so
come out firing shots today.
so let's start from the top. Or actually, I'll start from the bottom up, kind of talk through why these names are on the list, in my opinion, right? So we got Terry Bradshaw, big time quarterback in the 70s, 80s for the Steelers, won 4 Super Bowls. Steve Young, arguably the second best 49er quarterback ever. Again, a couple Super Bowls, great performance, just one of those epic performers, and he's a lefty, which always made it more interesting to me. Johnny U, again, this goes like way back. I think this is 60s, 70s, so he's even older. So, a lot of people probably don't know him. This is pre Manning Colts, I believe. But he obviously has a Super Bowl ring too. Troy Aikman, everybody knows him. Supposedly America's team. We gotta do a whole
Episode on that.
well, actually, we should do like a whole what do you think? You submit those forms and you basically say, hey, you know what? We're gonna change
Man,
this.
a poll.
Yeah, we'll do something, right? Um, anyways, Dallas Cowboy, obviously, again, a couple Super Bowls. They were extremely dominant in the 80s, 90s. Joe Montana, okay, so he's gonna be probably one of 3 that are gonna get the most votes for the GOAT. Again, some Super Bowls, huge 49er. I just in terms of really kind of taking them into the 80s and I guess end of the 80s really for driving that team's performance. John Elway. John Elway was just a huge figure in Denver. Again, he actually won a couple of Super Bowls as well. And ironically, I think he's one of the smaller guys. I think Breeze is probably the smallest person on the list. I guess probably Unitas was probably not too big just because he was the 60s, right? But not one of these massive quarterbacks like a Manning or a Brady. So Marino is the oddball here. And I included him specifically because I think LeBron's ignorant comment about how Marino could be talked about being the greatest ever because blah blah blah, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl. So he's the one person on here who doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. But when we kind of talk about performance over his career, he definitely ranks in the top 10 in a lot of statistics, right? He was known for a lot of passing yards,
Right.
a lot of TDs, so he was just a big time quarterback, right? Peyton Manning, one of, gosh, I think only 2 people on this entire list who won a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. So that in
Mm-hmm.
itself is a crazy achievement. Um, again, just the longevity of his career, Mr. Consistent in my mind. I mean, and again, he just really kind of changed the way the quarterback position was played in terms of really managing the game from behind center. Um, and then Breeze. So Drew Brees, I mean, he is a statistician. This guy, and this is, I think, where I was surprised when I dove into this is how high he performed across all these different metrics. Um, and again, he never had that just unbelievable offense around him. I mean, obviously, he had some guys around him throughout his career, but he just, again, he didn't have these Hall of Famers necessarily that he was surrounded by. So that kind of also makes his achievement in my mind worth a debate as well. And then, of course, you have Tom Brady, who he does claim himself as the GOAT. He signs cards in memorabilia as GOAT, so he clearly has already determined that he is the GOAT. He, again, will rank very highly on a lot of these statistics. Most Super Bowls, one of them, right? So that is a challenge as well. And nobody on this planet doesn't know who Tom Brady is. So I want to kick it over to you, Vic. Talk to me just about some of the reasons why you wouldn't consider some of these guys as the GOAT. Kind of some things that maybe they just fall short on. And then let's hear who your pick for the GOAT is and why.
So do you want to who my pick is for the GOAT first, or
No,
do
no.
you want
Let's
to hear
let's
that
just talk
why?
about why you would just not count some of these guys in the discussion of it.
Man,
Although,
Marino, I can say Dan Marino, good, great quarterback, and like I said, one of the greatest quarterbacks that never won a title. He should have, but he did not. Just so happened he just the wrong era for him because he ran to better teams. Um, Steve Young, he was like not because he was a Niner. He played good. He was a good quarterback also. He stepped in when Montana was gone and carried on the torch. And you can debate Tom Brady forever. And I think the main reason why I feel like people say that Tom Brady is the GOAT to them is because of one, yeah, he did win more, but he also went to more, but he also lost more.
okay, all right.
So
So you've just said four guys are not your GOAT. So let's hear your GOAT. And I know who it is, but I want to hear really
you
kind of
know
why. Why is he your GOAT?
you know who my GOAT is, and I say this, and I debate a lot of people on this. Joe Montana is my GOAT, and the reason why I say Joe Montana is my GOAT, he went to Super Bowl, he won four, never lost a Super Bowl, never threw an interception in the Super Bowl. And so that's why I say, as far as my GOAT, he went four times and he won all four times.
Okay, so now I'm playing devil's advocate here. So did Bradshaw. So Bradshaw went 4 for 4, and I would not even remotely
Yeah,
put
but
him in
Bradshaw,
this.
yeah, but Bradshaw threw picks. He threw a pick. Montana never threw a pick.
Okay. So
You
so now you're saying one specific statistic has you putting Montana as the GOAT. Is that what you're saying?
would, I mean, be out. Would you think about that when you say GOAT, greatest ever? Okay, you can match up statistics with some of the other guys too. We can talk about that. But what I'm saying is that's a perfect slate. You go 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl, zero interceptions, and yeah, he had I won't say he had good receivers. I put it like that. And Brady had a good line. He made sure that he had good, good receivers. And the same thing with Steve Young. Steve Young, yeah, he has some good receivers too. But I'm saying,
So did Aikman, obviously.
yeah, how many? Okay, think about something. Who could do that right now?
Go four for
And
four.
yeah, right
And
now.
you will 4 for 4 and not throw an interception in a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously nobody, right? Like I mean, that's just not. Okay, so here's where I love this conversation. For one thing, it is very interesting to me, and not that I disagree with it. It's just the way that things are. But we only care about rings when we're talking about quarterbacks, because when we start talking about running backs and wide receivers, I really don't care how many Super Bowls they have. To me, it's all
Right.
about the statistics.
Yeah,
But when we
of
look at
course. Yeah.
quarterbacks, even though they are only one, they're still a small part of an overall Super Bowl winning team. You have to have defense. You have to. I mean, we've
Right.
seen teams lose Super Bowls because special teams are bad. So,
True.
I mean, there are a lot of different elements to actually win a Super Bowl. And it is just
Hmm.
funny to me that the only thing that we really focus on, in terms of at least talking about the top echelon of the sport,
Right.
is Super Bowls for quarterbacks. So, I mean, it is interesting why we put it all on the quarterbacks, even though we know for a fact it's not just about the quarterbacks, right?
Exactly. But if you think about that though, if the quarterback other than Marino, if Tom Brady never won a Super Bowl, would he be talked about? No,
Well,
not as much.
yeah, and I think that's it. I think it's because a Super Bowl or a quarterback could absolutely lose a Super Bowl
Right.
very easily, right? Whereas a running back, yeah, they might cough up a fumble that could cost you 7 points, right? Whatever. But
Mhm.
they're not going to fumble it 7 times in a game.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
not if they're at that level.
Right.
So I guess that's why, right? It is part of why is they are the general on the field. They can really, their success is for the most part the team success. Obviously, they still have to play defense, and there are special teams, and you can still play great as a quarterback and lose. Obviously, that happens frequently as well.
True.
Um, but yeah, it is interesting how we just really had the ring requirement in terms of the conversation for quarterbacks in the Go
Right.
conversation. So let me just read some statistics. This is where I again was surprised for two reasons. One, obviously, I've never really looked into the statistics of those older guys. Like,
Right.
it's just funny how I remember things. Like for me, I remember Elway just being this like scrambling, tough quarterback, always in it at the last end of the game. He's always got a chance to win. He's throwing these big plays downfield when it matters most. Marino, I just remember him as a slinger, just chucking the ball constantly, right? I just felt like he was always just throwing the ball. But I don't remember overall performance. Like how good do they even compare to their peers at the time versus all these guys on the list? So
Right.
one thing that just blew my mind is quarterback rating. Okay, so we're talking about we're gonna agree Elway's not again the goat.
QBR.
He does his QBR though, right? So his quarterback rating, 101st historically, 101st, 79.9.
This is Tom Brady.
No, that's John Elway. So like
Oh
again,
wow. 101st.
again, this is where looking at
Wow.
statistics just shocked me in a couple areas. So for him, I didn't realize how inconsistent he was. His completion percentage, 121st. He completed 56.9% of his passes. Like, do you ever even remember anybody talking about how bad of a passer he was? Is that
No.
crazy? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think it is a generational conversation because I don't remember that at all. I don't remember those conversations. I don't remember hearing about those during games or whatever it was. Um, dude, 56.9 completion percentage, bro. I'm like, wow, that's bad. And Marino wasn't much better. He was 59.4. So yeah, they had big arms and they threw a lot, but they did not throw very well. Um, one thing I will give to Marino, which I was a little surprised about, just because I didn't think his teams were in that many games in the fourth
Right.
quarter, but he finished eighth overall in fourth quarter comebacks. So he had 33 in his career. So that surprised me a little bit, just because I don't remember the Miami Dolphins really being contenders very often. Um, and maybe that's why, maybe because they were always struggling, they were always losing
Right.
into the fourth. But hey, that was a pretty cool statistic. But yeah, their accuracy, and then just overall rating just really poor. I mean, Bradshaw, his QBR is 172nd overall,
Wow.
70.9. So that again, that doesn't surprise me in the sense that it was a completely different game back then. You didn't do anything, you didn't have these huge plays downfield like you do now. Now is much more of a passing game, right? Um, so let me look at Montana now. Let's go to Young. So Young overall definitely had some good performance in terms of numbers. Rating 12th overall, so 96.8. Historically 12th. That's very solid. 2 for 2 for
Hmm.
Super Bowls, which is awesome. Um, not a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, so clearly we were winning a lot of games for him back then. Here's the other challenge I have with statistics is the longevity, right? I can't sit here and bash LeBron for thinking that scoring the most points because you've been playing since you're 18 is an achievement. I mean, it's an achievement. Sorry, don't get me wrong. It's an achievement, but it doesn't mean you're better than somebody else just because you played longer. And I think that's kind of the problem with Brady's numbers is he's going to be at the first in most of these statistics
Of course,
because
he played 50 years.
he
So.
played forever, right? So obviously Brady's first in completions, first in yards, first in touchdowns,
Is
first
he
and
first in
fourth,
interceptions?
first and fourth quarter comebacks. I didn't look into the interceptions piece of it. I did look at rating though and completion percentage. So um, I think that's where his numbers stack up really well though, because he played so long and he finished 29th overall out of all the quarterbacks for completion percentage, and then his rating was 10th overall. So the dude was accurate, and he had the most fourth quarter comebacks. He had 46. Um, which again, that one actually did surprise me, though he played a long time. Those Patriot teams were really good for most of his years there, so
Right.
that surprised me a little bit that he actually had the most. Um, but yeah, so they're just some really interesting statistics. But yeah, Elway and Marino, those are probably the biggest reasons why I wouldn't consider them. Although obviously, there's too many other people that have more Super Bowls in my mind as well.
Right.
Um, so let me talk about Breeze before I jump to Montana. Breeze, I mean, this dude, again, he only won that one Super Bowl. Incredible win, huge for the city of New Orleans, which is awesome. Second overall in completions, third overall in completion percentage,
Right.
third, second in yards, second in touchdowns, seventh in rating, and sixth in fourth quarter comebacks. The dude was a stud. And here's probably why I didn't realize how good he was, is because I was not a fan of the Saints.
Right.
They're in the NFC. The last thing you want to do is see other teams play well against our Niners and things like that. But dude, he put up. I mean, could you imagine? I honestly think you just take Montana out of it, just because if you look at generational, if he had the same kind of Super Bowl performance Brady did, I think it would be a very strong debate. Unfortunately, he didn't have the support. He didn't have
Right.
the lines. He definitely didn't have defense very often. And I don't think he had a single Hall of Famer. I mean, I think, did Curtis Martin play in New Orleans at one point? Maybe.
He
Probably
did.
not. Probably not
He
at his
did.
peak though. So he had him as a Hall of Famer. Um, he had a couple of really good wide receivers come through there. Graham will go down as one of the best tight ends ever, but I don't even think he really played with Breeze
He did.
necessarily.
He had a Hall of Famer.
Who?
Played with Drew Brees.
Who?
Willie Rofe. He was the
Okay.
offensive tackle.
Well, okay. I'm talking about tool like weapons. Yeah, he had some
Okay.
support
Oh.
for sure, but I
Okay.
meant like wide receivers,
Okay.
tight ends, running backs.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Um, Granted, I don't know how many Brady's going to have at the end of the day. Obviously, he's going to have at least one with Gronk. But yeah, so it's interesting. I was just really surprised with his performance when you look at the statistics. Breeze balled out. I mean, he
Right.
was a gunslinger and very accurate. So really impressive there. All right, so let's talk about Montana. So yeah, this is probably where people would mostly debate it is the numbers. But again, Montana didn't play as long. The thing I dislike the most about Montana is he went to the Kansas City Chiefs. Um,
Yeah.
I just hate that fact. Same thing with Jerry Rice, and we'll talk about him. But him going to like what the
The
Raiders and
Raiders.
Seattle.
We want to talk about that.
Completely forget about Seattle. I agree.
Yeah.
So Montana, I think that is why he's in the. This is the sole reason why he's in the conversation is his Super Bowl performance. Statistically, yes, above average. Obviously, he finished 25th in completions, 37th in completion percentage, 27th in rating, 20th in touchdowns, 24th in yards, 17th in fourth quarter comebacks. So yeah, I think considering how long he played in the league, and I don't think he did a whole lot in Kansas City. Definitely above average in statistics, but at the end of the day, it comes down to Super Bowls. So let's just hear you kind of go into this again. You're gonna take the 4 for 4 with no interceptions over the 7 out of 10, correct?
Yeah, I mean, well, not just the football, that too, but thing was, if you plan another sport and you lose or you have a perfect season, that matters more than if you lose one game. I'll say the thing was his was perfect. I would stick with that. The only reason because no interceptions, And Brady was there more times, but I mean, when you look at it in reality, it is different eras as far as when they played, and the players were equivalently better in Brady's era than it was Montana because the players are faster. But I mean, you think to do what he did, that's still. I mean, he was back there with, like I said, Marino, Elway, those guys. To do what he did and hit in that era at that time, like I said, Super Bowl, you want to play your best when you're playing for a championship. That's when you want to play the best.
I
I
get it.
mean,
No, I get it. Yeah, so I did mention this earlier. I said there's only two guys on this list who won the Super Bowl, two different teams, right? And I haven't even brought up Manning yet. And Manning to me is like, I mean, you could look at almost anybody in the NBA that had to go against Michael Jordan. How many
right,
how many championships would maybe like a Ewing or a Barkley have, Reggie Miller have, if they didn't have to go against Jordan, right?
right.
That to me is Manning. Like if he didn't have Tom Brady and the damn Patriots, and he had to go through them every single
You
year,
you were right.
he would
You're right
have
about that.
had a whole different career. Oh, that's actually probably the best comparison. Phil Mickelson versus Tiger Woods. If Phil Mickelson didn't have Tiger Woods sitting there, how many majors would Phil have? And now, of course, Phil would
More.
lose 7 more just by his brainhead moves, but uh, a lot more, right? So that's a challenge with Manning. So obviously Manning can't be in my mind a goat over Brady, although his statistics are right there as well. Second overall in fourth quarter comebacks, 16th in rating, third in touchdowns, third in yards, fourth in completions. I mean, they had a very similar career. I think Brady had more help more consistently on both sides of the
Right.
ball, which obviously allowed him to get to more Super Bowls and win more.
Correct.
But I will say this. I hate to say this, and I think here's where the problem with the generational thing is. And you mentioned it was a different sport. So Brady's numbers obviously look better, but he played in a different game than Montana.
Right.
Um, and you think about here's the funny thing. Maybe mentioned this how much more protected quarterbacks are now. They were in
Mm-hmm.
Brady's years, not as much as they are now, but they were much more than Montana's years. I mean, when Montana, Marino, and Elway played, I mean, you could still slap people across the head. You could still you could
Exactly.
do all kinds of stuff.
Hey, that when they played, that's when you could actually hit the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Bradshaw shows that. You can tell he took different hits than these guys,
Right.
but yeah. So I mean, again, it was a different game. So I think statistics, you gotta kind of take those with a bit of a grain of salt. And he obviously played a lot longer. So Super Bowl wise, I'm gonna have to lean on the side of Brady, which I can't say I'm a fan of. 7 Super Bowls, yeah, 10 appearances. You lost a couple, but you also won with multiple teams. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Maybe I'll say it's a draw, and just say it's debatable.
You can put it for a debate for the fans to cast their vote who they think to go this on that list that you gave.
And it's funny because I guess sometimes the question will be like, if you had a fourth quarter drive, or you had to just take one guy and go out there and win it for you, who would it be? And it would be impossible not to pick the person who was 4 for 4 with no interceptions, right? So maybe that's the
Right.
simplest way to look at it: is if you had to win the game, everything's on the line. Maybe Eli Manning's on the other side. You're gonna go with Joe Montana. I mean, I think maybe that's where I'll make my decision and kind of agree with you there. But it is a very, I think, healthy debate because it's kind of a crapshoot depending on how you look at it, right?
Right.
You
I mean,
can't look at just
that's
the statistics, and you can't look at just the Super Bowls, really.
that's a debate that you can cast, you can put out there
Yeah, yeah, I
many,
like it.
many times over.
All right, so this one I think a little bit less generational. We don't have any new people on the next two lists, and I'll tell you about my third list in a second. But Let's talk about running backs. So again, when you think of tenure, this is where how long you played it impacts your numbers so much more that it's hard to just look at the numbers. If it was just the
Right.
numbers, obviously Emmitt Smith would be there, bunch of Super Bowls, and I didn't even tally Super Bowls on this list. As I mentioned before, I feel like it's just a quarterback conversation. But Emmitt Smith, we know he has multiple Super Bowls, most yards, most touchdowns, right?
Right.
Easy for people, especially anybody in Texas to say that he's the GOAT. But there's a couple players that played way before him that I think get overlooked for obviously playing fewer games. Um, Obviously, the NFL was not the game it was back then in terms of just broadcast, fan base, all those things, televised games. Um, but Walter Payton, and I'll just go down the list who I have on this. I've got the top five guys in yards, and then I added two guys that I think are worth the conversation. So I got Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Frank Gore, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, Eric Dickerson, and Jim Brown. So I think that's the list in terms of, yeah, there's a few other guys maybe you could debate about, but I think they're the ones that are brought up the most. The first five guys have the most yards in history. Um, and then obviously a lot of those guys have the most touchdowns. So anybody you want to kind of call out and say, hey, they're not my guy, but I can see why, or here's a few things about them.
It was one guy. I'm thinking, wow, who you didn't put on the list?
Who?
Well, why did I'm gonna say why? I'm asking you, but why didn't you? But I think he should be on the list too.
Who is it?
Marshall Falk.
Yeah, so I looked at him and Adrian Peterson and Marshall Falk. Like, I didn't add him to the list because I don't think he's the goat, and I think Adrian Peterson is very similar to him, and even like a Frank Gore, surprising with how many yards he put up overall.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I just looked at him and Adrian Peterson very similar, and I was like, well, Adrian Peterson has better statistics, even though I didn't look at receiving for running backs. I'm just looking at true running back numbers.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so no, he was definitely on there, and I thought about it. But I was like, I'll just stick with these guys because I think Dickerson and Brown are the ones that are worth the conversation, even though they're not statistically up there, right?
The reason why, okay, um, you can say Peterson that, but he's not my goat. Peterson when he played, he was he was a good player. When the thing about running back, the average lifespan of running back in the NFL is usually 5 years.
Yeah,
That's
it's
average.
like
After the
4.4 or something crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
something like yeah. So I mean, to play as long as Emmett Smith played, what did he play 20 years, something
he
like that?
played a long time, dude.
Yeah, I'm
Long
saying to
time.
play as long. That's a he how he took care of his body. You think about you think about when you're a running back, you're running back from the time you're playing pee wee football, high school,
And
college,
this is back when pads were not much. There
option,
weren't much.
option, optional.
Yeah, not a lot in terms of padding. You could hit differently. I
Exactly.
mean, for him just to last that long, to your point, is an achievement in itself. It's
It is.
shocking that somebody in that position could play that long for sure. It's wild.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to go, you think about look how long he played, right? And you got guys now can't play 3 years
I
and
mean,
they're done.
he played so long, he thought it was a good idea to come to the Cardinals.
That was all them hits to the head.
Exactly. Exactly. What, you think we're going to have a line for you? No, we're not going to have anybody protecting you. Get out of
You
here.
know, that was the only thing I didn't like. I mean, he wanted to carry on his career a little bit, give the Cardinals some notoriety.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we got him a Smith. Yeah, but
And we got
you
all
got
these
the old
Cowboy fans here anyway, so it didn't really matter.
hey, give him a chance to see him. But no, I mean, I say that. But another guy, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders with him, nobody really still don't know why he left football. But I saw a documentary on him.
Yeah.
You see
Is
the
it
documentary?
is an interesting one, yeah. I think he helped put
Yeah,
it together actually, so it was
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
You heard
So
how he retired, right? And this is most of our listeners will understand this, but he actually faxed in his retirement.
yeah.
Sent it via
I'm done.
fax.
Hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey guys, I'm not coming back.
Wild. He's a
But he
character.
knew how. What's the thing was? He knew how long he wanted to play. He didn't want to play longer than what he played. He said, he had already had all his money. He made all. And one thing I like about Barry Sanders is when he scored a touchdown, you didn't see him jumping around in the end zone. He'd walk over there, hand the ball to the referee, go back to the sidelines. You didn't see him celebrating or dancing, nothing. He act like like what John Madden used to always say, act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
You could act like you've been, and that's what he did. Barry Sanders would score a touchdown. He'd go over the sidelines. You ready?
in terms of like athleticism and just I think type of running, I think that's kind of where Adrian Peterson reminded me of Barry Sanders. I think Adrian
Right,
Peterson did a little bit more of like downfield running, but he definitely had some agility, right? Um, and just he was just solid, right? He was like Barry,
right,
just a very solid dude.
right.
Um, so I have Barry probably higher on my list than you do, but go ahead. Who else you want to say is not the goat in your mind?
Is not the goat?
Yeah,
Well,
so I think I know who you're going to say the goat is, but go ahead.
you think you do?
Do I have him on the list?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll guess it when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Jim Brown.
Yep.
All right, so
Hey,
let's
why? Hey, hold on. You know why?
no, let's hear it. I want to hear some.
The why the debate for Jim Brown is the goat. Dude, he never missed a football game. Never missed a game. He played 10. He had, well, back then they played less games. He never missed a game. He had 1,000 yards, over 1,000 yards every year that he played. And he played, what, 10 years and quit. I'm done. He walked away.
So this is a little bit generational. So all right, so Walter Payton is probably, I guess, from a statistics perspective, he was a lot higher than I realized. I didn't even realize he had, he was six overall for touchdowns, six for
Right.
yards per game. Again, second overall for yards. Um, so one statistic I wanted to add because it kind of counts against I played a long time. So yards per carry. So shockingly, this is where again I was very surprised. Shockingly, Emmett Smith 139th on this list. And I guess that's where it kind of negates the total yards. All you did is play a long time, which is incredible.
Right.
Huge achievement.
Right.
But I think that's almost an automatic dismissal of the idea that you could possibly be the GOAT, right? Just because you have the most yards and most touchdowns.
Yeah, but he carried the ball
139th.
not.
That's
Yeah, but
wild.
that's a lot of wear and tear on your body, bro.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of dragging around two trucks and smashing into a wall.
So let me ask you then, would you put Walter Payton right behind Jim Brown? Who would you put
I
second?
would. I would.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
So here's where it's to me really hard to debate Jim Brown. And the only reason why I wouldn't pick him as my GOAT is because I didn't have a chance to ever watch him. I'm outside that generation. I never got to watch him. All I can do
I
is
never
watch film and
I
all I
never
can
saw him
hear.
play either.
I
I
mean,
never saw him
you've
play.
seen him, I guess, sooner than I have, though, right? Like there were so many names by the time I started paying attention to football that kind of at least Jim Brown's name has been around a lot longer for you than it has
I've
me,
seen
right?
I've seen highlights.
Right, right.
I've said, yeah.
So, but looking at his statistics, oh my lord! And you just kind of hit them all on the head. But again, he finished 12th for yards, but he only played what 10 seasons?
10 years.
Eighth. He has the lowest ranking on here, which to me was really number one because the other guys are just whatever, right? Yards per carry, eighth overall in the history of the game, and in reality, you can mark that as first. 5.2 yards per carry in 10 years.
Yeah.
Again, seventh in touchdowns. He had 106 touchdowns in only 10 years. Freaking wild. Yards per game. Take a giant guess where he's ranked. Yards per game. This ranked every running back in the history of the game with probably a minimum couple hundred carries, right?
Hmm.
He's first. First overall. Yards per game. 104.3. I mean, oh my lord! And here's the thing: is I've heard stories about him and just how athletic he was in college, and he could have done any sport he really wanted to. I mean, he did them
Right.
all, right? High school, college,
Well, he also did track in college. Remember?
right?
Yeah.
First, in the history of the game, most yards, more than anybody per game, and he did it for 10 years. So, yeah, statistically, and not really being able to like see him play is hard. And that's the only reason why I always just talk about Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, to
Right.
me, again, he had some shitty teams. He had some horrible lines. And he put up some ridiculous numbers as well, right? So,
Yeah.
fourth overall in yards,
Right.
11th in yards per carry. So, him and Brown were the only ones that hit over 5. So, in my
Right.
in my mind, again, he's like second. So, he did 5 yards per carry. And half the time he's getting touched behind the line. So I think also the fact that I got to watch him growing up and see I mean, he was the epitome of agility. I mean,
Right,
just juking left and right and cuts and all these things. Jim Brown was just like, I'm just gonna run through you
right.
type of guy, right?
Yep. But if you
Um,
know something, one thing about Barry Sanders, if you ever notice about Barry Sanders when he's playing, he never really got hit hard.
right, because he was
Yeah,
always moving. I mean, you think
yeah,
about his control and his hips and just the way he positioned himself.
right.
Um, so again, second, right behind Jim Brown, yards per game in the history of the game, 99.8.
Yeah,
So to me, I would lean toward Barry Sanders simply for the fact that I got to see him more. I know more about him. I was just a huge fan of his. But dude, Jim Brown's numbers are absurd, and
yeah.
it is hard to put him second at the
Against
same time.
anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, just think about
yeah.
if think about it, if think about it now. If Jim Brown had the line, because Cleveland, they wasn't the best teams either.
That's always
Uh,
the caveat. By the way, he played for Cleveland, guys.
About that, they didn't have the best teams, but look what he achieved not having. They didn't have the best teams.
Yeah.
You know, hey, our weapon was and everybody knew what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the ball to Jim Brown. You stop him.
Same thing with Barry, right? Like, what other
Yep,
choice do you guys have? You're gonna hand the ball off to him. So
exactly.
yeah, I think it probably is a coin flip in terms of age, maybe. Like, hey, yeah, I grew up and I got to see Barry Sanders versus I never got to watch Jim Brown.
Right,
But again, incredible numbers, and the fact that those two guys have most yards per carry in the history of the game
right.
is incredible. So what's funny to me, and it's just impossible to put them on this list just because actually, I'd say both these guys, their athleticism are top notch. Herschel Walker, that dude was a beast. I didn't really bother
Right.
looking at statistics, right? But Jackson was
I
the
knew
only
it.
person I
I,
wanted to
I,
put on here,
I
and
thought you were gonna say boom.
it's like first of all, nobody else on this list was part of a video game where you could run circles around the team and score every time. That was Bo Jackson. And for all you younger people who don't know what I'm talking about, Tecmo Super Bowl, you had to play with the Raiders. You got him, and he's gone.
Yeah,
He's doing
bro,
laps around your
that
defense.
was by far at that time and best video game
Ah,
ever
dude, it was
by
incredible.
far,
It
hands
was
down,
incredible.
hands down.
Technology for you. But yeah, Bo Jackson, I mean, again, he's just one of those guys. It's like, if only he didn't have the gnarliest injury.
Yeah,
I mean, geez, but and he would have been like him and Dion. That's it, really, right? The most athletic
yeah,
two-way players ever,
yeah.
and they both did football and baseball. And
Hmm.
I would definitely lean more toward Bo in terms of athleticism. Talent-wise, they're both great, but dude, Bo Jackson, he was just unbelievable. If he could have played, 10 to 12 years in both, oh man, just imagine what kind of
Well,
accolades he'd have.
the best baseball player when he ran up that wall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That-
Actually, I always like the ones where he just busted the bat over his leg. those are like, oh my god. I mean, dude, every
but yeah, I
muscle was
mean,
just flexed in him when he did that.
but yeah, I mean that's like what I'm saying. Jim Brown. I mean, I'm just saying if he had the line that people had today, imagine.
Yeah, I mean, again, like it's crazy because you're not. I mean, we have more athletic people. They're faster. They're stronger, and
Yep.
you don't have anybody being compared to Jim Brown.
No.
It's insane, and he's just a freaking beast. It's
Yeah. I
wild.
mean, at that time, as you say, in his era, he was a freak of nature in his era because he wasn't afraid to run into nobody because they
Yeah,
couldn't tackle him. I mean, I saw one highlight. He got hit once, and he got hit by another guy, and he broke away from those two guys. And then another guy. I'm thinking, my goodness, will somebody please tackle this dude already?
dude, Derrick Henry is probably the only player in the last 20 years I think that had that kind of like idea around him. Like he's just gonna run through your entire team.
Right.
And that dude's been a beast, but he's still not
Yep.
gonna put up the kind of performance Jim Brown did.
No.
All right, let's jump to wide receiver, and this will be short and sweet. You know how many people I have on my list?
3.
I didn't bother putting anybody else on this damn list because there is one and only one GOAT in terms of wide receiver. Jerry
Yeah,
Rice
of
has
course.
statistically annihilated everybody in the conversation. And then on top of that, you have the Super Bowls. I don't care if you want to say that he had better quarterbacks throwing to him. He has statistically blown away
Everybody.
everybody. He has the most touchdowns in the history of the game. And he had to rely on somebody else handing him the ball. Okay?
Right.
Um Unbelievable. Jerry Rice forever in my mind will go down as the GOAT. It is interesting, like right now with where the game has shifted, and it is such a pass heavy game. You have a couple guys who have some pretty crazy numbers their first few years. Justin Jefferson's on an incredible roll his first 4 or 5 years. Puka Nakua has the highest yards per game in the history of the game right now. And he's in, I think, his third or fourth season, maybe, right? Third,
Right.
probably.
But 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 the thing about now, he brought him up. What is wrong with this dude, man?
Wow, Puka.
Yeah.
Well, decision making, dude. Decision making.
I'm-
It can definitely prevent you from getting to GOAT status because your career might not last as long as you want to. But,
exactly.
young guys making poor choices. It happens. But, dude, Jerry Rice, far and away. And here's the thing why I think it supports a one of one on the list. His work ethic,
But,
bar none, most incredible work ethic. I mean, you would
yep.
compare him to like a Kobe, a Jordan, a Brady, I guess. He definitely tried to, kind of put in that kind of work ethic too. But, dude, Jerry Rice, the stories about this guy are just unheard of, man.
Right.
Um, yeah, unbelievable. And again, he'll hold the statistics. I don't think anybody's going to break most of his records. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So I don't know.
You said
Who did you want to add? You said 3 guys. So who would you have added to the list out of curiosity?
I would have Ray Moss.
Okay. Yeah, Moss probably. Honestly, he's probably more talented than Jerry Rice in terms
Right.
of his ability, right? His vertical. I mean, there was a
Mhm.
time where every team was terrified if the ball was in the air, he was just going to come down with the ball, right?
Of course.
Um, and like Jerry Rice, he had Hall of Famers thrown to him, which doesn't hurt, even though it wasn't for his whole career. And but when he was in Minnesota, he had really good quarterbacks. Like during that time period, those were really good quarterbacks in terms of the overall league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Randy Moss is definitely up there as well. Brown, you're gonna say Tim Brown possibly?
Yeah. Eh, no, I wasn't gonna say Tim Brown.
Okay,
I was gonna say
Marvin.
yeah, Marvin Harrison.
So same thing. I mean, he had some crazy off the field stuff go down after. Really, is after his career for the most part, but
Yeah, but
that
he
was
never.
crazy.
One thing about Marvin Harrison, he didn't drop balls.
No,
That dude, like he had Velcro in his hands,
I
bro. He
mean, yeah. Talk about being able to rely on somebody being Manning. You just chuck this ball any which way, and he was a different kind of runner too, right? So that
yeah,
I think that's the thing too is he's not a down the field throw it up I'm going to catch it. He's the route guy. He's going to catch it in the middle of the field. He's going to avoid that first hit somehow, which is always crazy to me too. Is you catch
right.
these cuts in the middle of the field and still not take a huge hit or
Because he
drop the
ran good
ball.
routes.
Yeah,
He ran perfect. He ran good routes. He
yeah.
ran great, great routes, as you say.
Um, yeah, so I mean, I think Chris Carter's probably top 5 as well, right? But at the end of the day, nobody competes. Nobody competes. Some of these guys, To statistically was definitely up there. Again, choices To.
Right, right.
he made too much drama going on as well.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah,
One of my favorites ever moments in football is him running out to the star on the Cowboy field though. That was
oh,
awesome.
you talking about when George Teague
Laid
lit
him
him
out.
up?
Yeah. But hey, it took a while for him to get lit up. He was out there for a minute first, so that was awesome. I enjoyed that a
Right.
lot.
I'm gonna go instead of the star. You go ahead.
Yeah. So hey, I mean, again, I would love to see some debate. I'd love to see some comments. We really love the engagement. I'd be really curious to see where other people fall in these three categories. Um, hard for me to hear anybody debate Jerry Rice, but it is what it is.
No,
I would love to hear it.
I
I'd
mean,
love to hear it if you could come up with it.
somebody's going to say it. I mean,
But
that's what we say. But
all
say it.
all I can say is, oh well, he had two of the greatest quarterbacks ever thrown to him. Psh, whatever. Anyways,
But you think about something. When Jerry Rice played for San Francisco, I can guarantee you, most people don't know they don't know who the other receiver was.
oh no,
But
yeah,
I was it. You can't. Well, okay, you got Jerry Rice. You can ask him. The question
exactly.
you can ask
That's the thing too, is how often was he in double coverage? Like how
exactly.
often was he the only target they really had? And he
Hmm.
still put up these numbers.
Exactly. You can say,
Yeah.
well, who was the other receiver? Well, I don't know.
Exactly. Who was
I
a
just,
running back?
exactly.
You can maybe throw a few names out there, but again,
But hey,
yeah.
the other wide receiver, in case you don't know, people listening, John Taylor.
Yeah. And he was already there when Rice got there too, which is,
Yeah.
so he
Yep.
wasn't there that long for his
Hey, and
tenure.
I'll say this: couple. We have some Niners that's finally, finally getting the Super Bowl. Why did they wait so long to put Roger Craig in the Super Bowl in the Hall of Fame, bro?
Yeah, so the Hall of Fame thing, we talked about this before with the whole Belichick and Kraft thing. I don't understand who's making some of these decisions. It is a very very odd thing to me. So I hope they're going to kind of review the process of it all, which is funny because I just learned that for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, everybody who's in it gets a vote, which makes sense. Like, hey, I'm part of this now. I should be able to, my opinion should matter, right? Like,
Right,
to me, that is how something like this should work. You should also include the people who've actually been added to it. Like, why would you not want to get the peers, the players who went against these guys? Because writers are writers, right? Whoever they have really engaging in this,
right.
more than likely they didn't play in the game. And I
Good
would
thing about
trust those opinions way more than somebody who's just been writing about it.
yeah, I would too. I would. I'm like you. I would trust and the players who's played. I mean, think about it, like talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're the ones out there playing. You can vote on these guys, but these are their peers that's already in there.
Yeah.
They know, and like to, I think that they should do the same thing as far as the NFL go, as far as sports go. Let the players who are already in there give them a vote and see what. Because okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think Brady gonna be in first ballot?
He's a no brainer, but when you look at
so
Belichick and Kraft,
so okay.
here's what they're gonna say, and here's why he will be. For one, they've already got so much flack for Belichick and Kraft. There's no way they would risk not putting in Brady. But
What if they did?
even outside of that, I think they try to blame the coach and the owner for all the cheating scandals, and they're letting Tom Brady off the hook because he didn't have anything. He didn't necessarily have anything to do with the recording stuff, the Spygate stuff, the Inflategate that was very directly related to Tom. But um, there is no way that they are not going to put him in first ballot Hall of
What
Fame.
if he doesn't,
There's no way. Not even worth
bro?
debating. There is no way.
I'll say,
Every
hey,
sports commentator is going to lose their shit at the exact same time on whatever given
if,
day that is.
if he don't get in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot, they might go to Canton and burn that. They might
Dude,
burn the Hall of Fame to the ground, bro.
insanity. Insanity.
I'm crazy. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think he will get in first ballot. He better. I mean, I think if that happened, yeah, his name should be the only
Dude.
name on that ballot that year. I am glad.
Yeah. Make it real simple, guys. You got one vote and you
But,
have to vote. That's
but,
it.
and they be like, well, he came up one vote short. That would be hilarious.
I swear.
But I will say that we're talking about Hall of Fame. I'm glad Larry Fitzgerald is finally getting, as they say, he's finally getting his flowers.
Yeah, dude. I mean, statistically, longevity.
Right.
Again, he was with the Cardinals. I mean, that in itself is like a crippling effect on your performance, and he still put
Bro,
up incredible numbers. So yeah, in terms of
You ever met him?
A few times actually.
Yeah, I met him.
Ironically,
I met him once. I met him in a actually met him in a Suns game.
nice.
Nicest man, Larry Fitzgerald. I will say, I've met a lot of celebrities. Larry Fitzgerald is down, hands down, one of the most down to earth guys you ever want to meet in your life, bro. I mean, he just he does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of stuff that people don't know, and I know because my wife works there. He goes to the hospital, sees the kids, no press,
Yeah, he's a
takes the
huge
boys.
charity guy too. He definitely likes to
He
give
really
back.
is. He does, and
Yeah,
that's
every time I've met him, he's been super cool, dude.
yeah. Like I said, I met him really nice. You see him like, oh well. You see some celebrities that total like jackasses.
Yeah,
But you see Larry, cool dude, very cool guy, man. And my props to him. Congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald. And I say our Niner got him in there. Frank Gore finally. I mean,
and
what
again,
I don't
another one of those ones where to me it was like, come on, guys. Like statistically, well, how could you not put him there? Third overall in yards,
right.
top 20 in touchdowns. I mean, come on.
You know, it was one person that I questioned why did he get in the Hall of Fame so fast? Let me see if you figure out who it is.
Yeah, which one was it?
Calvin Johnson.
See, he's one of those ones that's kind of impacted by his shorter tenure, right? So
Yeah,
well, that and he was a Lion. Ironically, we've got a lot of the players we're talking about who are on crappy teams their entire career.
right. But what I'm saying, bro, he played what 9 seasons,
Yeah.
put up good numbers, and he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. 9 years.
Yeah, it's funny because actually, to me, him and Randy were the most athletic, incapable of guarding wide receivers that we've ever
Of course,
seen. So,
of course.
yeah, the difference again being that Randy got a lucky break and went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and the other thing is Randy Moss, like you said, him and Calvin Johnson, even when they're covered, they're not.
no, yeah, I
No.
mean, they called him Megatron for a reason, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
he had a verbal leap out of this world, though.
and
I
he
mean,
was already
yeah,
huge. Yeah, those two
yeah.
were anomalies for sure. But I don't know that it was too soon. But again, if we're talking about Brady maybe not getting on a first ballot, I don't know what these people are thinking. To be honest, it'll be interesting. We'll see.
But I'm just saying, yeah, I'm just saying, I know he will, but what if he doesn't have to?
Then we're gonna
I'm just
we're gonna
saying,
be watching the news that day. I'll be laughing my ass off at all the commentary that comes out there.
like, because what could they say? The
But
reason
they
why
but they didn't
I'm
say
saying if he doesn't,
why exactly. But
never
it's
did.
it's always assumptions. You had to assume because the people who are voting aren't going to
Right.
say why. So who knows why Belichick
Yeah.
didn't get in, other
Or
than the cheating stuff.
or the owner.
Or maybe it's because he's got that weird girlfriend and he's coaching in college now. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they didn't like that interview he did where she was like dictating shit. I don't know. Maybe he got a bunch of North Carolina alumni there that are like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. All right. Well, again, just would love the feedback. Love to see the comments. Let's kind of wrap it up with some trending news in sports. Have
Your
to
golf.
start with my golf.
So,
See, you read my mind, man. Masters. So, man, it's funny because I'm not a huge Brandon Chambly fan, but he hit the nail on the head when he talked about after the third round. Dude, Rory just loves drama. And he's not doing it intentionally, but his game comes out in the most perfect way to create drama. The highest lead in the history of the Masters after 36 holes. He had a
yeah.
six-shot lead, and he
Yep.
blows it on
Oh,
Saturday. One of
man.
only like 2 rounds over par. So goes into Sunday right out the gate, a bogey or two. He's behind. You got a bunch of different people running up the leaderboard. Of course, Scheffler, who was really nowhere to be seen the first 2 days in reality. Has shoots like a
how he
65.
does it.
I know he shoots like a 65. I think on Sunday maybe. Finishes second. Finishes second. And what's crazy is freaking Rory just up and down all day 18. He's up and down on the leaderboard. Justin Rose up there at one point. You had Young up there. You had all these different guys like, oh my God, who's going to win this damn thing? And at the end of the day, he pulled his shit together, figured it out, and took home his back-to-back green jacket. And what's crazy is his last major was I think 14 years ago before he won last year. All he needed was a green jacket to hit the career grand slam. He got that, which only I think 6 guys have. And then he goes back to back, and only 3 other guys have ever done that. And it's
Right.
Nicholas Faldo and Tiger. So the company this guy is in is incredible. I just want him to be a little bit more consistent going forward. Like, compete, dude. Compete in these majors. Don't let Scheffler just run away with these things. Like, be
Right.
consistent more often. I mean, for the fact that he had that long of a drought for majors was just insane. But it was cool to watch. It was entertaining as hell. I wasn't necessarily rooting for Rory. I was actually hoping that Justin Rose would finally come through with the green jacket. The fact that that guy only
Right.
has one major is just absurd, and he's playing so much better in the last couple of years as he's gotten older, which is wild.
Right.
Um, but he's always fun to watch. He had a bunch of young guys that were in there playing well, but yeah. So Rory took it home. Amazing coverage. First time then who knows how many years they didn't have rain. I think they got rain on Monday and that was it. So the course definitely played differently. They didn't make it as hard as they could have. I thought they were going to make it play really hard on Saturday, but they didn't really get any wind, which definitely helped.
Right.
But dude, lots of good shots, lots of awful shots. Rory, this guy didn't hit a fairway for like four days basically. This guy shot unbelievable numbers hitting out of the freaking pine straw all freaking tournament. It was insane. I don't think
Right.
I think he was the worst off the tee the entire tournament, and he won it. Hey, it comes down to the
Hey,
short game, right? It's all about the short
sometimes
game.
it happens. So what
Uh,
about the NBA playoffs? The actual started. Not the plans are over. So the actual first round was started today.
dude,
Uh,
I mean, it's what all matters now. Now it's shut up or show up, and I think the Lakers are they've
winning.
they've had
They're
such
playing
a
right now.
nice second half of the season. Everybody's fairly healthy for the most part. Is
Did you hear about KD?
no.
Heard he's not playing today. He hurt
Mm.
his knee in practice yesterday.
So yeah, injuries are as usually going to play a big part of
Right.
the entire playoffs. But yeah, I think the Lakers are going to get through the first round against the Suns, or not. That's sorry.
Oh,
OKC's playing the Suns.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rockets.
yeah, against Houston. Um, I think the the East is always going to be the more interesting conference in my mind. I think Boston is going to do amazing. Um, but it'll
The
be
Knicks
interesting to
won, by the
see.
way.
Yeah, I
The
saw the
Knicks
next
did win.
one. It'll be interesting to see how Boston and Detroit kind of fare along the way and all those things. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be OKC or the Spurs. I'm rooting for the Spurs.
So, um, so remember we was talking about the Olympics are coming up, right?
Yep, yep.
So, bro, your boy,
You got it. You got tickets.
I got my name in for the draw
Nice.
for the Olympics.
That's dope.
I didn't even think I was going to get in on there. They see my thing for the draw. So, um,
When do they notify you?
next the next question, the next question, do you guys want to go? You and your
Well,
wife.
yeah.
It's
So
2028.
she's a track person, so she's gonna have
Yeah. So
to
I
see
want
all
to
that.
go. So my wife wants to go to. She wants to go to swimming, basketball, uh, track and field. So
See, it'll be
yeah,
interesting to
no,
see how they schedule these things because
I
it's
was
so hard to go to
shocked
that
when
many things.
I was shocked when I got it. I'm like, then the thing was, oh, it said your Olympic draw is. I was like, oh, I actually got it. Because it's many people
Dude,
who want to
I've
go.
been holding out for that Masters draw every year for the last 20 years. So
Yeah, like yeah, I got the thing for the draw.
nice.
So it's but 2 years from now. So I'm saying, hey, we can have a road trip.
Definitely
I'm saying
plan
if
ahead.
you got yeah, if you guys want to go, that'd be great, man. My wife wants to go. My wife has a cousin that actually plays on the U.S. water polo team.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, we'll definitely have to go. It's one of those things you just how often you get to go to that thing, right? We're definitely
That's
gonna go.
something you have to
Yeah,
check off your bucket list
for
right there. I
sure, for
mean,
sure. It'll just
I've
be weird to schedule
always
it because it's like
I've always wanted to go to Olympics.
I don't
So
know. We're gonna be there a week. We might have to be there a week just to see all the stuff we want to
yeah,
see. It'd be crazy.
yeah, because they haven't because all the track and field. You know what that's going to be? That's going to be at the Coliseum.
All right. Yeah.
The basketball games. You know what they're going to be at?
Where the Lakers play?
Nope.
No.
Clippers.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be at the Intuit Dome.
Interesting.
Um, the swimming. I don't know where that's going to be at yet. Swimming events, but yeah, because they sent me a thing of the events, and so I was trying to find track and field, but it doesn't say just track and field.
Yeah.
It's listed under athletics.
Nice. Is
I'm
is,
like,
is it not
what?
all athletics?
That's what I thought. I mean, yeah, I would love to go see basketball. Check out at least one
Hey,
basketball
I just
game.
want to go watch badminton and ping pong, and I'm good. Hey,
hey,
man,
hey,
party supreme.
no, bro. You know who's the good ping pong player? They was talking about him today.
Ooh,
Nikola Jokic.
really?
They said he is a really, really good ping pong player.
That's funny. I can only imagine what you do in your downtime while you're traveling and stuff, though. Like, I'm sure
Playing
you
ping
play a
pong.
lot of ping pong and poker. That's probably about
Well,
it.
I just want to go see ping pong. Well, if that's the case. Then why don't you just go watch water polo?
Dude, that's got to be the most difficult sport there is. The fact that they are wrestling in
A
water
ball
and
with a
keeping
ball.
themselves afloat. I
Yeah,
mean, it's physical as hell, too, though. Like,
it is.
it's
It is.
crazy.
You
Yeah.
can go watch. Hey, you know what you can go watch? Rugby.
Nope. Synchronized swimming. That's the one right there, dude. That's it.
Nope. I got.
That's it.
You can go watch what's the one they have in gymnastics when they do the ribbon or whatever the rhythm whatever it's called.
Rhythm of something.
So yeah, I'm like no.
That's funny.
But yeah, she was telling me. She said, "Oh," and she was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I said, well, what do you like to go see?" She said, "Well, I want to go see swimming." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, so that would be where we would take our podcast on the road.
Oh, 100%. We'd have to do it from there. It'd be incredible.
We're at the where you at? Where you guys at? Oh, we're at the Olympics, bro.
Yeah, you hear
The Olympics.
starter guns going off in our background.
But hey, it better be starter guns. You're in California,
Yeah,
so it might not be starter guns.
that's
But yeah,
funny.
but I did want to share that
That's awesome. So
about
you,
that. Yeah, yeah,
you hear that, everybody? In 2 years, you know where we'll be.
yeah. You can't find us in LA, but yeah, it was saying, yeah, like I said, I was going through my thing. Well, like, wow, I got it. But I'll say this: we are, as my boy calls me, the hardest working man. Uh, and I have to. There's a couple places because I just traveled. There's a couple places that I have to mention because I told them they was outstanding service and they hooked us up. They really did. So if you're flying, I told them I'd give them a plug. If you fly to Houston Hobby Airport and you go in there, there's a place called Killen's Barbecue. The name speaks for itself. Killings is killing. That barbecue was fantastic, bro. I'm saying something. I've had a lot of barbecue. That is some of the best barbecue I've ever had in my life.
Did it
I
make up
mean,
for the 2 hours in the security line you had to wait?
oh, I didn't. Actually, I didn't. Speaking of wait, so we
You
went to Sky
you
Harbor.
missed it. That's good.
I got it. No, we went there because we have clear. So
Yeah, so you got through it all. Nice.
yeah,
Because
we had. It took us.
Houston was one of the worst ones in the country. I
No,
was like
well,
worried about you.
that was not Houston. What's called one of the worst ones? That was Dallas Fort Worth.
Oh, Houston was too
That
though.
yeah. No, not hobby. Dude, we flew back home from there.
Nothing, right?
5 minutes.
Nice.
Man, it pays. Like I said, one thing about it, it pays to have the clear
Oh,
going
I'm
through that
sure.
thing. But yeah, but I said that's one place that they treat us right. So if you ever in that area, Houston area, because they believe me, they're going to be listening because I had my stickers with me and they took a lot of my stickers and they were all excited. They would act like I was a big celebrity down there.
Did you put
So
them
I
on
told
every
them.
single menu?
So I told him I would give him a shout out. So all the employees of Houston, thank you for the fantastic service. And then there's one more spot that we went to. They treated us like celebrities. They they did. I mean, dude, food. They had we didn't even they had a line. We didn't even wait line at all. They got us right in and sit down. It's called the Saltgrass Steakhouse.
So the Saltgrass Steakhouse is the one. Awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, that food was phenomenal. I mean, it was great. The service was great. Um, like I said, not only was I traveling, bro, I was handing out stuff. 'Cause
Oh no,
in our
you were putting in work. I feel you. I mean,
hey,
between
on our
cocktails
adventure,
and runs to the burger place on your cruise, I'm sure
oh
you're doing a
boy,
lot of work.
no, on our outside of our room, right, dude, I had a line of stickers out there every day,
That's
and
funny.
come back every day they were gone.
Gone. Nice.
They were gone every day.
That's awesome.
So if people don't know who I, okay, I will say if you obtained one of those stickers on the ship, please, if you listen to our podcast, drop us a name.
Yeah,
Say
let
what
us
and
know. Let us know that Vic's hard work paid off. We got some new listeners. I love it. I'll be going
right.
on a cruise probably in October, and I'll just have to duplicate your work.
We do. Hey, we do have a. I can tell you, we do have some new people because the guy actually, we were talking to him, his wife, and he actually sent me a message. He gave me his phone number, and he sent me a phone. They're from Texas, and they're starting to follow us, listen to us, and follow us. And we
Nice.
also met another couple from Texas, so they are friends of ours
I
now.
mean,
So,
Texas fans, I don't know. I mean,
ooh.
those Cowboy
No,
fans.
actually,
Are they Cowboy
no, bro.
fans? Or
No,
the
actually, he
Texans
lives in
fans?
Texas. No, one of them was actually he lives in. They live in Texas, but he likes the Packers.
That is an odd one. That's unique. That is a unique one.
That's what
All
I
right, I'll
said.
give
I'm
that
like,
to him. That's a
all right.
unique one. All right.
But yeah, so like I said, you guys, I give you a shout out. I give you a shout out. So if you ever in those areas, folks, please go and listen. And if they say, hey, how you find out about us? Hey, we will listen to Shots on the Foul Line with Vic and Dustin. And he mentioned you guys. So give me a discount.
See, now you're trying to get those affiliate code job or working stuff right
There
there.
you go.
Those
That's,
affiliate
hey,
links.
but
That's how you make some money.
so so you said you going in October? We've already got we've already got one scheduled for November. We're going to
Nice.
Cabo and Ensenada.
Nice. All right. Look at that.
November.
We're,
October.
we're on our way to our goal. Lots of listeners.
World peace. World peace.
All right, everybody.
Bro.
Appreciate the commentary. Please give us some insights into who you think are the GOATs in these areas. We love the feedback. Love to hear what you think.
All three categories.
Yeah, all three. We don't want to just hear the quarterback one. We want to hear what you think about all three. And yeah, next time we'll obviously have more NBA playoffs. We got NHL playoffs going on as well. We got NFL draft coming up soon. We got all kinds of new topics to talk about. So keep listening. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys listening. Keep listening for us. We got more stuff coming. Thank you guys for listening. We do appreciate it.
Take care, y'all.